This is kind of like no personal microphones or setup. It's like just like a tree-side chat about what we're going to be doing. And people can like watch it. Once they're fully absorbed in the podcast, they can go back to like that. It's like the preface.
Yes.
You know when you read a book, there's like that.
Yes.
So this book
is about this.
Yeah. So I thought we could just talk about it for a little bit.
Talk about how we've been trying for over a year to come together and create magic.
Yeah, so I have a question about that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, yes.
All right.
Well, I actually have... Okay. I have one... Did you take a shit in my bathroom? You just came from home.
I did just go.
You just came from your house. You showed up here and you took a shit.
Listen.
I'm curious.
I told you not to follow me. Not to follow me back there. You did.
I didn't follow you, but I went in there and I'm like... Then you came here, just straight from your house, private house where you could have taken as many shits as you wanted. You came here.
I did take a couple of shits in my house before I came here. I might have.
If I take a shit, I will leave the vicinity completely. I'll check into a hotel room. I will.
Well, I didn't want to do it.
I would never like do it anywhere near where anyone. But your answer is that yes, you came from home, but you shit so frequently that it has nothing to do with where you came from.
Maybe
you're just here now, and now you have to take
shit. Okay. Did you know there was a thing? I was just watching a video yesterday, and they were discussing a real, true phenomenon that happens to people when they go into specific stores.
Yes.
About their shit is triggered. Every time I go to a Ross, every single time I go to a Ross, I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to have to give these shoes a second and go in the bathroom.
I felt that at like hardware stores. I think it has something to do
with
like
Walmart,
an Ace Hardware, like a Home Depot, where it has something to do with like
bookstores,
like survival and like construction and like habitat, and you're like, you know.
No. I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to do this here. I don't want to do this at all. Why is it happening so frequently? So when you see me frequently?
Or you come here, that is also triggered for you?
Mm-hmm. Okay. But it's also anywhere I feel remotely comfortable, I think.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. You make me feel so comfortable I can just shit anywhere.
Yeah. I had a friend, I'm not going to say his name, but a friend back home. It was...
You're not going to say his name?
No, and you could count on it. Like, he would show up, quick hug, clap his hands. Can I use your bathroom?
Oh, yeah.
And he'd be gone for 20 minutes.
No, I tried to wait it out. I was like, maybe it'll pass. And we walked around, and then I'm like, nope, I'm going to have to take care of this.
Some people don't care. They're like, yeah, I took a shit. What's the big deal? Why is it? Yeah. And then for other people, normal people, they're like, that is the most heinous thing you can possibly do.
Heinous. Yeah.
I think, do you know there's a festival in Germany that's like all about that? It's like a shit festival. Like, shit on me, I shit on you. Mm-mm. There's like these like levels where people stand above you and you like wait for the shit. I forgot what it's called. It's like Kreisberg or something. Yeah. It's like an annual like shit festival.
Yeah. Not into it. What is that glass bottom boat situation? That's a kink, I believe. What? It's where somebody lays under a clear glass table and watches somebody shit on the table.
I'd rather have my fingernails pulled off.
Ew, I don't know about that either, but I don't want to see poop coming out of anybody's butthole.
You know, on the gay apps, that's what you see a lot. It's happened to me several times recently. I'm like, can I see a pic? Like, who are you? And you just
that's how they start?
They don't even do
dick pics anymore. No, they're like, here's my brown ring.
It's not like, this is what I look like, or even a dick pic. You just see, like, a spread open, like, pair of legs with, like, a hole. Just center frame. Like, here's what I look like. That's what you're getting. And I get it. You're like, that's what, you know. Like,
that's uncomfortable.
Like, oh, I'm going to fuck that. Like, that's what I want to see. But, like,
I don't want to know anything about your face.
Your faith?
Yeah. Have faith in this beehole. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm not into the ass.
Yeah.
Regarding the podcast, though, I did also want to ask you, like, you've been dying to do this podcast with me for a long, long time.
Yes.
I just wanted to know why, and why me, you know? I thought we could get to know each other in front of everyone, because I don't really know you, and You don't really know me.
It's true. We just met and vibed so quickly.
Yes.
I admire you as a person that as much as I do know, you have good energy, and I enjoy our conversations anyway. Yes. And I like that you believe it.
You like that I believe it?
Yeah. I like that you believe in yourself and that you believe in me.
Yes.
I think I cried to you about this. I remember drunkenly talking to you about it on the sidewalk.
Street. Yeah.
I might cry again right now.
I know, you're right. Well, that is one of the things that I would say back to you that I really like about you is that you're fun. You're a great entertainer. People love watching you on stage. When we first talked about doing this podcast, the reason we knew that we should do it is because I know everywhere I go, people are dying to have conversations with me.
Yes.
Or get in on them. And with you, I can tell the same thing.
Yes.
Everyone's just dying to have a minute of this. And so when we get together, and this was from the first minute that we started to be together, it's effortless and it's explosive and it can be about
shit.
And so.
And it's still magical. That's the thing.
Yeah, and
I'm going to tear this tree down with my wrist.
Don't touch that tree.
Okay.
And, time is a pretzel.
Time is a pretzel.
Yeah, with cinnamon pockets and dry corners, and sometimes it's really wet.
Sometimes
and
it
stretches,
really wet.
and sometimes it's.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do this with me?
Well, because you're magic.
Oh.
I wanted to do. When you approached me about it, I was like, this guy is wild. At first I'm like, how are we going to be able to do this if he's just talking about sucking dicks all the time? We can't only talk about sucking dicks. Right. But we totally can. And I think...
yeah, because you first met me, you were hosting a show and you put me on. And you came outside and you're like, oh, I heard you were funny. Do you want to go first? And I was like, sure. I just moved here.
Yes.
And I think I bombed.
Cody said you were funny.
Right, and I wasn't.
And then you weren't.
I didn't do well. But I remember thinking, wow, she's such a great host. You held the space. You were so professional.
I'd barely ever seen any stand-up at all. I watched Cat Williams, the first one, in 2008 on a computer at my boyfriend's mom's house. And then I listened to the Kyle Kinane album, Death of the Party. And then I watched Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip. And once I saw that, I was like, oh my God, if I could ever talk about my life and make people feel anything, then that's what I'm supposed to do. But technically...
Why aren't you doing that? I'm so rough on her.
He's so rough on me. Bareback, no lube at all, just take it out.
Yeah, let me teach you how to do a joke.
Who do you think you are, Bank of America?
Wait, what?
They raped me with no lube when I was 18. It's a whole thing.
They were
rapists.
You starred in a major motion picture.
Yes.
With Jennifer Aniston. And
it's on Netflix. I played Jennifer Aniston's fat sister in a fabulous movie called Dumplin'.
Yeah, Dumplin'. And is that Dumplin'? Were you Dumplin'? Or?
I was not Dumplin'.
Okay.
I mean, in life roles, I was absolutely Dumplin'.
But in the movie,
I play Dumplin's Aunt Lucy.
Okay. And because of that movie, you have all kinds of opportunities, and also gay men ask you to officiate their
weddings regularly.
Why?
I don't know. They're like, she's close to drag queens and we love her.
I see.
I think that's it.
What happened? How did that happen? Did you get scouted somewhere?
Stand up is how it happened. I opened for John Reap. Okay. Do you know who that is? Mm-hmm. He won Last Comic Standing in 2010. He's the guy from the Hemi commercials.
Okay.
That thing got a Hemi in it. He's redneck, but he has no lips. His mouth just opens to a black hole.
Okay, we'll edit that part out.
Okay. Either way, I opened for John Reap at the Orange Peel, and a casting director saw my photo at the bottom of the poster. It was this big.
And she was like, that's Jennifer Aniston's
fat sister right there. Yeah, she went through my Facebook and saw that I did stand-up, and she called a mutual friend of my friend Jennifer, not Aniston, my friend Jennifer Davis, who I've been friends with since the 9th grade. She works in movies, but not acting. She doesn't ever want to be on screen. She's a behind-the-scenes kind of lady.
Who would want to be on screen?
I'm ready for my close-up. Okay. Either way, she called me and she's like, listen, if anybody from Atlanta, LA, or New Orleans calls you today, you better answer it. And so I was waiting by the phone all day long. They didn't call me for like 2 weeks. They didn't call me for 2 weeks. And then when they did...
So you love when you're like waiting for that call, but other calls come in and you like hate that person?
I'm like, who are you?
It's like your like best friend calling you like fucking...
Get off my line.
You want to kill them.
Yeah. But they finally called me, and it was the casting director's assistant, and they asked me for a video. So I sent them a stand-up video, and God, when I watched it, and like I've recently rewatched it, I'm like, this was awful. Why did they like me? Like, it was terrible, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I have such a different appreciation for how comedy works.
Well, it's also like what they were looking for. They probably wanted just like big tits. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, she's funny. You don't know what they're
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. You're right. You had the
right
way,
tits.
They took my video and they sent that to Jennifer Aniston. She thought I was hilarious. She's also one of the producers for the movie.
Okay.
She thought I was hilarious and had them bring me in for a live audition in Atlanta.
Jennifer Aniston thought that clip was hilarious. What is wrong with her?
I don't know. And she's friends with Ellen.
Okay, so they brought you in and you auditioned and you got the part, and then you filmed the movie, and then you went to the premiere in LA. And
I did. I met both Jennifer Aniston and Dolly Parton on the red carpet, and it was magical.
Wow. Have they reached out to you since then and asked about me at all?
And Fletcher asked about you?
Yeah.
No, but they will.
They will.
Oh my God.
Right, okay.
They're gonna. I mean, can you imagine Dolly Parton listening to
She's all, honey, who is that guy with the hair?
With the hair?
The one that talks about dicks all the time?
Yeah.
Can you get
She's
him
like,
for...
can you bring him to Tennessee? We can put our feet in the
doing
creek for about 10 minutes.
Dumpling 2. I play Jennifer Aniston's gay uncle in Dumpling 2.
She's older than you.
You could be a younger uncle.
You can. Yeah, you can.
In the South.
No, period.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, that was cool. I wanted to ask you about that. And then what did you want to ask me about?
Well, I wanted to know more about the figure skating, but also you escaping from Russia. That's a lot of... We need to research that.
That is a lot. So my dad wrote a book called Adventures of an Inventor, and it was all about him like being a physicist and inventor. But my firefighter friend and I read it finally during pandemic, and he kept circling and drawing arrows. He's like, "Don't you see that your dad was a spy? Like clearly, like why was he being interrogated in this facility? And then he had footage of this, and then he was like whisked away to the embassy. And like, don't you see what was going on?" And I like never knew any of that. I just thought I knew we like left Russia at a time when you couldn't leave, but I just didn't care enough to look into it.
Yeah.
But apparently there was some espionage happening, and we had to like surrender our citizenship, and it was either like die here or go to America.
Yeah. And so I think I'll take my chances with the McDonald's people.
Yeah, we came here.
Yeah.
Thank God.
How lucky we are to have you.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm saying.
I am a national treasure.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me this. If you are a Jewish fellow, why do you do a Christmas tree?
So we always had a Christmas tree growing up because I think my parents in Russia, it was like illegal to celebrate any religion or something. So New Year's was always like the big holiday that they would celebrate. Okay. And that's when you'd like do gifts, and we always had a tree. And I get also like...
Wait. Russia did not allow you to celebrate
Christmas,
religious holidays?
Right.
Huzzah.
Russia, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's love. How old were you when you started figure skating at all?
I was probably like 8 or 9.
Yeah, because where did you live then?
I was in Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. So
and as like a Russian,
you were born in the United States or you were born in Russia?
I was born in Russia, but I was like this big when we
moved to the
escaped.
United Okay. Escaped. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I need to know more about that.
Me
But
too.
let's get
Yeah.
He said me too.
I really
Rasputin
nearly
put me in a box.
There's a book about I don't.
There's a book about it.
I just know.
That's crazy.
For Russians, like ice skating it's not gay, and it's also
it's
like a national sport that's like very celebrated, and the most famous people in Russia are like the figure skaters. So like our version of like Taylor Swift is like their champion figure skater or whatever.
Yeah.
So when
you don't know any of their names? They're so famous.
I mean, I know some, but like
I just remember Christy Yamaguchi.
Right.
But that's,
I know her. I mean, I remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like normal in my family that it wasn't like, you skating? What are you, gay?
Yeah.
I was just like doing a normal Russian thing, I guess.
And your parents were like all for it.
They were all for it, but they were also very traditional, where they weren't like stage parents, like all obsessed.
Right,
Like, come on, do this. They were more like grounded about it, and like long term, like, well, this isn't really like a career, a life for someone 20 years from now. Like, what are you gonna do? Just like play Snoopy in the Escapades? Like,
like,
you need like a physics degree to like raise a family and have a house. So they were always kind of like very Russian about it.
What do they think of you now?
I mean,
who knows?
Who knows? But they, so I remember like, even at like 12 or 13 years old, like having to land like triple jumps in front of like,
my God,
at a coliseum or
I
whatever.
can't even roller skate.
Yeah. I was a figure skater, and then I started doing like competitions and winning, and then my family moved to San Diego, and then I had like a more like Olympic level coach there.
Okay.
And then he moved like 8 of us to Michigan to train in Detroit, and that was the year.
And how old were you then?
It was right after high school. I was probably like 18. And that was like the year that I won the national championships in my division. And they were in Detroit, and that was where the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan incident happened.
Yeah.
Like during those nationals.
You thought that was going to happen to you?
I didn't think it was going to happen to me, but I was in the building when it happened. So I was like taking my skates off from a warm-up, and all these like volunteers were like running with walkie-talkies like, she's been hit. She's been hit. Like,
wait, no, you were there on the day?
Yeah, it was like in the.
Whoa,
I was like
Roman.
in an adjacent
Look at you.
dressing room.
Okay. Figure skating was the only thing that my mom would let me stay up past my bedtime to watch when the Olympics were on. She would let me stay up to watch figure skating. My dad hated it.
Was your mom a lesbian?
Well.
And also my coach turned out to be a monster and was like exposed. And it's an ongoing joke of my friends that I was like molested by my coach. I was never molested by my coach, but he did interrogate me personally about questions that I knew were irrelevant to my skating, and I was too much of a smart ass to take it. You know, I wasn't like a little bottom bitch. Yeah. So I pushed back. He tried to get me kicked out, and then I started training with a different coach, and then my parents had to fly out, and there was like a board of directors like meeting, and
anyway, you stopped going to you got boring. I'm sorry.
Well, then I started working at Bennigan's, and there was
like, who the fuck is Bennigan?
Anyway, I quit, and it was over. But that is what I did.
So when did you start your one-man show? When did you start doing comedy?
After skating, I spent about 10 or 12 years doing like psychedelics and DJing in desert parties in California. Because when I was skating, I'd never like smoked weed or heard of the Beatles or like nothing. I'd been very like isolated. So when that ended, I like had a whole reawakening. I moved back to California. I like made real friends. Sorry. Are you fucking kidding me? I've never once seen that. I've watched very few podcasts, but I've never seen the audio and visual. Do you need to take a nap? I'm sorry, is this orgasm of pleasure visually and acoustically putting you to sleep? Do you need Some Adderall? Or...
no Adderall, or I'll be up till tomorrow.
No, why would she do Adderall? That's not illegal and not what we do.
Also, it's because I ate mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
I didn't.
Okay.
But they always make me yawn.
Me too.
I thought about eating some mushrooms before coming.
Maybe we'll do one.
Yes.
You know, because this is
back to what we're going to do. Also, it's not going to be hard for us to figure out what our podcast is going to be about because the millions of followers are going to have questions and suggestions and they're going to challenges.
I don't like calling them followers because it sounds almost like they're inferior. I like disciples. Because this is really like the prequel. This is the prequel to our initial episodes, which will be like very professional.
I do like to see that. Sometimes I just like mash the head together to watch the pre-cum.
Oh, really? You mash the head?
Not like, not mash it, but like pull it.
Yeah. Cool.
A little bit.
So that's what this is to the podcast. Like when you look at episode 1, it'll be like in a studio, like professionals with their shirts off. This is like we're just like casual.
Trying.
We're just casual.
We're figuring it out.
Talking. We wanted to like meet each other.
I think we've done it.
Okay. Well, I'll see you at the first taping.
At the first taping? I'm so excited. I can't wait.
I'm glad we did this during Christmas.
Yeah, me too. The New Year's going to be wild.
Because it just sets an intention.
It does.
We're not slackers. Like, oh, maybe next year we'll get into it. Like, we got it done before Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we only tried for the entire year. But that's how I am. I give myself a deadline. And
then you add a year. That's what I always do. Like, I'd love to do this by...
We never picked a specific date.
No, we just said before the next year.
Uh-huh.
And then you add a year.
And we did it.
We did it. We added a year and we got it done before the following year.
Yeah. Look at us. Magic.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is lovely. You guys are really going to get into this.